So you got social media down, right? Now we're gonna move on to, should I hire somebody to do this for me? Is it gonna take too much time for myself? All these different things. So let's look at social media managers, right? And that's just what they are. They just manage social media typically. And sometimes they create the content. It depends on who you're really working with. But remember, they manage the social media content, right? It's not creating, sometimes they do create it. Sometimes they will work with you. It depends. Again, if they're your employee, you can have a wider spectrum of what you want them to work on. And typically they will be okay with that. But you just need to make sure you got like a contract with another individual or something like that. You state what you need in a social media manager and someone who does this. It's more like PR than anything now. PR is going to, shift into social media and then like major news networks, the 24 hours news cycle, and like all these other things. And it obviously depends on what you're looking to do, right? I mean, you can't. It's not a one fit all solution. Should you get a manager? Should you not? So when you're doing it all yourself, it kind of feels free, right? Isn't it free to do it all myself? Well, in some ways it is, in other ways it's not. So it costs you time, and time equals money, right? At the same time. So like, is this worth it for you? Are you getting the results? You have to learn it as well, which is another thing that costs even more time. Obviously, some people it's a really big deal. Some people it's not. It's just a hidden cost. You should really calculate out like, okay, it took me this long for this. I really plan on this. Taking this long. Okay, I could pay someone else to do it like this. You know what I mean? And you have to trust the person as well. You don't want someone who's untrustworthy and can run your brand into the ground, right? I mean, you can see what they're doing. That's the great thing about social media is you can see every post they make, everything like that. But you just want to make sure to not have the misconception of, oh, it's free, right? If I just do it myself. No, it's not. It's still taking your time. You're still dedicating time to it. So is it actually worth it? So how do we evaluate if social media in general is even worth it, right? So it's not by your views, it's through the click-through rate. Are you getting any calls? Are you reaching your goals? All those different things really matter when you're going through social media. And what is your goal? Is your goal to get your name out there? Is your goal to get conversions to customers? Are you a contracting company who wants to get new employees? There's a lot of different things that go into that. It's not just one goal. So is what you're doing right now working? If it's not, why not? And can you have someone else emulate it? If you don't have enough time, there's a lot of different problems that can go on there. But social media managers can really help you out. So let's think about what social media managers do. So what do the managers do? What do they manage? So they do a lot of different things. They look at trends. There's a lot of big trackers there. That's not that difficult. But they also do like production work, right? They set up lighting sometimes. They, do updates. They upload. They do a bunch of different stuff. So they have many hats. It's not a very specific, field. It's not like neurosurgery where you got the brain and the spine, right? It's like almost all of social media, right? Like it's a lot of different stuff. So you got to understand what they can do, what they can't do, what they've done, what they haven't done, what they're willing to learn, what they're not. You know what I mean? It's a big difference, especially between the freelancer versus an agency. If it's a freelancer, you have more freedom, right? Because it's just that. With an agency, sometimes they even have guidelines around what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. But also, these agencies have more of a money-back guarantee more than anything. They can take the hit if they're not getting anything done. So you really just have to look at what's best for you. So now, when you're doing content, when you're doing videos, there's one thing you can't get rid of, and that's your likeness or your face or your voice, you know what I mean? Or just you, right? So there's also just you part of it, right? So why can't you get rid of this? Well, if you do, it'll be like, if this is your content, right? Content. Okay, if that's your content equals you, then it's not going to be your content, right? If someone else is in it, if someone else is doing it. Now, if you can have them emulate you and you're not really a huge part of it, you know what I mean? There's parts to that as well. Do you want someone really to emulate you, or do you want them to be themselves? There's a lot of that. There's a lot that goes into that. but do you really want your likeness to be changed? Is that going to be good for your content? Is it going to be good for you? Why do you have to do this? It's a lot of stuff to answer, and you just have to go through it step by step. Again, try not to overwhelm yourself, like I said in the last video, and you really have to tell what help is good and what help is bad. So what do I mean by that, right? So help for like support, stuff like that, people will fleece you. And of course, you know what fleecing means. Someone will scam you, someone will take money from you. But especially in the social media managers, because it's such a new field, such an I don't want to say niche because it's really not, but it's so broad and it's so all-encompassing and all new that they know that you might not know so much knowledge on it. So again, to avoid that, you should use the tactics I showed you in the interviewing video about how you should ask them how to explain it so that you understand it. And if they can't explain it so you understand it, what does that tell you? So ask them to simplify what they're saying if they're using a bunch of jargon. Oh, sorry. If they're using a bunch of jargon, if they're just trying to confuse you, stuff like that, it can really, set out a bunch of red flags, a bunch of warnings, a bunch of signals. So here's some myths. Doing my own social media is free. No, it costs your time, of course. Hiring help is too expensive for a small business. Not always. There are freelancers who do it for cheaper, and large companies as well sometimes. And if you hire somebody, your likeness is gone, especially, I don't know what that was, but if you hire somebody and they make all the content for you, your likeness is gone. So what is that going to do for your video, right? Or what is that going to do for your content? Does that matter? So just don't just give it all to them. And also you want to check in. Manager will not always get you thousands of followers, and are they like real followers too? Like, are they just buying them? If they're just buying them, what's the point, right? So you shouldn't handle your logins just to them. You should maybe create a guest account or like another account, especially until you really trust them, because your logins, you can do a lot with that, especially like your email login. Like, they can delete the account if you don't have 2FA, two-factor authentication. But we won't get into that. Now let's look into making the decision, right? Making your call. So, or decision, or whatever you want to call it. So the last decision, you want to keep your voice typically, keep your likeness, keep your everything in the video, in the content, if you can. And is it worth your time / money / well, I did this in the wrong word, / effort? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things to evaluate here when you're making your decision for, is this the right fit for me? And then also, it's not just in a general, look at your options at least. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? You look and then you don't see what you like. Anyways, thank you for watching this. Go over real quick again. Is social media managing myself free? No, it costs your time when time equals money. To evaluate it, don't look at those vanity metrics, right? If you're getting in your social media, look through the click-through rate. Are people clicking through and liking it? And are we getting any calls? Are we getting any contacts? What are we going for? Evaluate that correctly. And what do they manage, right? Sometimes they update, sometimes they do the very minimal, sometimes they make the entire content for you. And when they make the entire content for you, that likeness is gone if you're not in it at all, right? And that can really hurt your content. Now, if you need help, right, they could fleece you, especially if you don't know a lot of stuff. So to avoid that fleecing, you ask them to simplify the language so that you can understand it, and just wait until you can actually understand it. And if they can't do that, then that's a big red flag. How do they understand it, right? So to make your call, look at the money, look at the time, look at the effort, look at everything I've showed you before. Make sure you're not getting fleeced. And yeah, just don't. And if they're young, they don't know technology automatically, by the way. A lot of people probably think that, but there's a lot of people I know that are my age that have no idea, like, anything about tech or technology, like, IT work, any social media at all. I mean, I'm sure they use it, but they don't know how to, like, the inner workings of it. So it's really important to have an understanding yourself and to get a trained professional.